Hello, and thank you for watching this episode of Voice in the Middle. My name is Dustin, and as this video tag points out, why are you watching this video right now? What is this recommendation that came across my Facebook feed and my YouTube feed saying, hey, watch me, check this channel out, see what it's about? Why is this coming to you? I started this channel because of the frustration I had um, from fellow Republicans refusing to call President Trump out on anything he was doing. And I started this originally on my original personal YouTube page. I was fed up with the way that we were handling the riots. I was fed up with the way that we wouldn't hold President Trump accountable for any of the things he said, the way he treated people, the fact he was out of line a lot of times, right? As great as his policies were, he was not infallible and he was not perfect. And I was fed up. And I was fed up even more so because the other side of the aisle refused to acknowledge anything that he did correctly whatsoever. They just refused. They refused to look at the policies that have done amazing things for America, and they would only be focused on certain things. So I started putting videos out because my mindset was, if I don't try to be a voice of reason, if I don't try to be someone to realize the way that we're running this country right now does not work, and the blame is on both sides of the aisle, if I refuse to do that, then I'm no better than the people that I'm complaining about nonstop. With my job, I have the opportunity to talk to people, small business owners mostly from across the country. And regardless of which side of the political spectrum they fell on, a lot of those conversations always came into, they honestly were more in the middle. In fact, as a republic, we're supposed to be running from the middle. Our founding fathers created this country with the purpose of having to be run by compromise, by not being simply majority rules to get any laws passed or changes to our country done. We were forced to operate our country under a force of tension because they never intended one side to have full power to force and influence the other side into that belief system. And that's the way we were run as a country. And both sides are guilty of this. Republicans want to force conservatism down everybody because they believe it's correct. And yeah, I believe that overall, the ideals of Republicans, I'm a registered Republican. I believe in the Constitution. I think it does align more with the Constitution and the framing of our fathers. But the reality is, there's a whole other group of people on the other side of the spectrum that believe just the opposite. And as strong as Republicans believe this is the right way in the right direction for the country, this side believes it as well. We can argue about who's right or wrong, what the intentions are, all day long. But the reality is, both sides have positions they fully believe in. So I created this channel to be a place to be able to call out the hypocrisy on both sides. And I created this channel, unfortunately, as Facebook put a lock on any sort of promotional of any sort of political pages being promoted on Facebook through Facebook Business. The same with YouTube. This isn't the same as the censoring that was going on and everything else. This is universal across the board. If you were doing anything with social and political updates, you can't get pushed. And that policy is still in place. This video, luckily, because we're not going to discuss any political topics directly, I can push that out. And that's why I'm hoping you're watching this video. Because if you're like me, and I honestly believe the vast majority of Americans are, if you're like me, you are fed up at both sides and you're tired of it. And if you want someone that is going to do their best to explain things to you, giving validity to both sides of the argument and not just trying to force feed it to you, that's going to call out Republicans and Democrats equally, that is going to turn around and realize that this country was designed to be run from the middle and from a place of compromise, then like and follow this page, please. Click on the button to actually watch the YouTube video directly. Subscribe on YouTube, like that, because I need it. I've had a lot of great messages from people thanking me for some of the previous videos. When it was going on my personal page, thanking me for my perspective there. And I do know that this is something that we need as a country. It's something we need to come together. There's a lot of call for unity right now, but no one is willing to actually be the one to extend the olive branch. I was even debating putting this channel on hold because I'm actually now running social media for my party at a legislative district level. And it's tough because I have a lot of super Trump can do no wrong people on that page that follow that and are part of our district. And I'm trying to change culture, and I'm trying to teach people that there is a better way. I actually put a post out, 2 posts, which makes me laugh a little bit, and this can kind of tell you where my perspective is and where I'm coming from. One was actually thanking Senator Sinema for standing up for our soldiers that were put inside that garage for that period of time. And I happened to see her tweet first. I follow lots of political figures, and hers either was getting the most traction at the time or whatever it might be. I saw that on there, pop up on there. And I basically put a post out saying, we don't agree on a lot, but thank you for doing this. I can give you that thanks. And man, lots of little likes, the little heart follows on Facebook and everything else. Like, a lot of people seem to appreciate that. And then, of course, here comes the ultra, Trump people saying this has no place on a Republican page. Why aren't I telling what President Trump is doing? And I made a straightforward comment, and this is what I mean with everything when I say what this channel is about. Is I basically said, for 4 years we complained that Democrats refused to turn around and acknowledge any of the accomplishments that President Trump did that they would even agree with. Peace in the Middle East is something that's a bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle that you're on. He did amazing things in the Middle East, especially towards the end of his term. He did amazing things with the economy pre-COVID, right? Like, you can't dispute that. He pushed out lots of policies that assisted for bipartisan issues. And you don't hear any of that. You don't ever hear them say, well, thank you. And I said, so we rightfully complained about that for 4 years. I am not going to sit here now and do the same thing and be a hypocrite. Saying thank you is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. That I will turn around, and if someone does something that agrees and doesn't disagree with core Republican principles, I'm going to the first to go out and say, thank you for passing this, or thank you for voting against this. I'm not going to prejudge just because of what political party you line up with. We are Americans first. We are created equal under our Constitution, all of us. We are the same. We all, every single person, have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As a Christian, I believe every single person is born in the image of God. And because of that, every person has the right to be heard and the right to be given respect. Regardless of whether respect is given first, doesn't mean that we don't give that in return. I find one thing really fascinating with a lot of fellow Republicans is a lot of them claim, and I'm not going to question their faith or what they actually be, but they claim to be followers of some sort of Judeo-Christian, type religion, whether it's Catholicism, Protestantism, whatever it might be. And yet Jesus always said, love your enemy as yourself. Well, love your neighbor as yourself, but who is my neighbor? It's my enemy. And we've forgotten that. And so this channel is going to be one of respect. It's going to be one to where we look at the issues, where we can have that discussion, and we can honestly look at it, and we can see the validity on both sides, and we can try to bring this country back to where it needs to be. If we truly want unity to happen, it's not going to be by forcing policies from the right onto the left or from the left into the right. It's never going to happen. If we want to bring unity back, it means one side has to be willing to say, I'm going to stop the hatred once and for all. And one of the very first comments when I even explained why I had that post on a Republican page is it said, well, I'm going to treat the Democrats exactly the way they treated my president. That does nothing to heal our country. I get it, and I understand a lot of people are frustrated. A lot of people think, rightly or wrongly, that the election was stolen. A lot of people are scared about the Democrats having control of all three houses. And I understand that, and I get that fear. But hate, and resentment, and anger is going to do nothing to heal this country. At the end of the day, regardless of what policies are passed in Washington, we can still show each other in our local neighborhoods and the people living next to us respect. We have to stop viewing each other as the enemy, because we're not. We're all Americans, and all of us want what's best for America. That view widely differs between the two sides. And personally, what I believe the far left and socialists want, I do not believe that's what's best for America, but a lot of them do. And if I just come here and wag a finger at you and say, no, you're wrong, and I'm going to force you to believe what I believe, we're not going to ever get anywhere there as a country. We have to come together. We have to be willing to take the road of the middle, to try to find areas where we can compromise. And there's going to be some times where we just can't. You can't compromise on everything. And at some things, there are things you draw a line in the sand and you say, we do not cross this. But there's a lot of things that we're fighting, we're arguing about right now that we can come together for. So if you made it this far, please like and subscribe. Follow this channel. If you want to hear what's going on in the news, but hear from a refreshing perspective in someone that understands it because he's involved in politics, then please join me in this journey together. Let's be a voice of in the middle. Let's be a voice of reason. Let's start turning this country around by ourselves, by the actions that we take. I talked today in a post that being a Republican ultimately means that we believe in limited government, and we believe that decisions should be started at the local level, that is the best place for anything in our communities and our states and our government to happen is at the local level, not the federal. And so if you truly believe that, then let's start transforming hearts and minds at our local level. Let's go on this journey together. Thank you so much. I will be putting videos out, I'd like to say at least twice a week. I'm shooting from my apartment. As you can see, you saw my cats running around. The TV was originally turned on. Litter boxes on that side, weird with the flip. Going to try to find a different place to record, but this is what I have. I don't have a fancy production team. It's me by myself, because I believe it needs to be heard and it needs to be said. So God bless you all. I love you all. Stay tuned for the next episode. Take care of yourself and stay safe out there.